too damn fast. So when I hear you complaining, I have to agree. It's all you, society, that guilty of police brutality against we. The brutal society, brutal. Oh gosh, the brutal. My society, brutal. When I listen to you speak for real, I never feel so weak, cause the same folks we protect, they're lobbying hard to...
Good morning to you, wonderful listeners of Real FM 91.9 and 91.5. Of course, it is a wet Wednesday morning. But however, whenever you hear my voice, it is the conversation with the RGPF. And this morning is no other morning as every other Wednesday between the hours of 9 and 10, the conversation with the RGPF. And this morning, you know, whatever we do, it's always important to come back and say thank you or to give some review. And this morning is no strange thing or difference. We will be giving you some review and also some update as to the Eastern Division and where we intend to go or to take our policing district and division. We would also let you know how influential you as our citizen and community members had been for 2022. So last Wednesday, we did extend it to you New Year's greetings. And now that we are already in 2023, let us continue to make it a success. Let us continue to work together for the good of all so that we can continue to be that safe destiny. Of course, I am your host, Jessel Grant, Corporal of Police attached to Community Relations Department within the Eastern Division. So with no further ado, I'll just invite my guests, introduce my guests, and then we'll take a brief break with our theme song and we'll get right back into a program. It's a packed program for you this morning. It is yet another important program because I have my seniors here with me. And that alone is to let you know, listeners, it's not just the juniors that are talking, but of course, administration is bought into the program and we are working together for the better of our community. So on that note, I'll go straight in with my guests, and I say good morning to you, gentlemen, and how are you?
I'm great, thank you. Thank you for having me. My name is Jeline Thomas, ASP of Police, attached to the Grenville Police Station. My role there is the officer in charge of the Grenville Police Station and also the subdivision station within the division, and they are Hermitage, Budge Grove. Thank you.
So listeners, they realize that we have it covered because you have Grenville, you have Birch Grove, you have Hermitage, and also the departments within. But that's not the final. We have the boss himself in the house. Good morning to you,
Good morning. And let me take this opportunity to thank Real FM for having us here and want to wish them all the best in 2023. And we wish all our listeners, all supporters, the citizenry of Grenada, Carriacou, Piedimonte, those persons in the diaspora that continue to listen to the program and be a part of what is happening security-wise within the vision of the Eastern Division, which includes St. David's. Inadvertently, we don't have a representative this morning from St. David's. St. David's is managed by Superintendent Nelson. And so we know that the program is far-reaching, and we want to ensure that all and sundry are part and parcel of this program. Audio o'clock, we want to invite you to call in when the lines are open so that we can hear from you. Some persons may not, on last occasion I gave my phone number, but use this opportunity, use this medium to get your concerns to us, and where possible, the area you can always touch in and give whatever concerns. We will not be delivering what you require, what you expect of us if we don't hear from you. All the best for 2023, and I hope that we'll do our best to ensure customer service delivery rises to the level that we are looking at. That's customer service with a wow. Thank you so much.
I love that tone for 2023. Customer service with a wow. And oftentimes that's a pillar and a benchmark for taking any organization forward. And as we continue to serve you, our listeners and community members, we ensure to beef up, tighten up, or let our customer service be with a wow. So on that note, we take a brief commercial break and we'll be right back with the conversation with the RGPF.
We ever present on the streets, still you say upstairs the worst. We only harassing woman and boss. You used to complain, true and true, about the Bloods and the Ginger crew. You tell us put some licks in their ass. Now you say police hand too damn fast. So when I hear you complaining, I have to agree. It's all you, society, that guilty of police brutality against we. The brutal society, brutal. Oh gosh, the brutal. My society, brutal.
So yes, listeners, we're here, and it is the conversation with the RGPF. And as I said, in studio with me, as you heard them introduce themselves, Superintendent Pierre and ASP Thomas. And we are here just to give you an update, to bring you forward, to let you know how well we had worked together for 2022 and how much better we can do for 2023. And obvious listeners, you can only do better, and we can only continue to work when you understand our mandate and responsibility and you are buy-in. So we have to be able to sell it over to you and get you on board. And in that tone, in terms of 2022, gentlemen, are there any expression of gratitude that we would like to extend?
Oh yes, indeed. Like you stated, we have to be the one that turned back and said, "Thank you, Lord, for doing what you did to us." 10. Remember, 10 were healed, right? Mm-hmm. One turned back and said, "Thank you."
Yes.
That's where you have to show gratitude, and so we want to express our gratitude to the general public for their support in 2022. We have the issues of crime, but we want to ensure that in going forward in 2023, that the more will come on board, yes, but we want to say thank you for all the support with all our programs and our focus during 2022. ASP?
Thank you, sir. I also want to join with you in really expressing our gratitude towards the general public in the way you really assist. Your contributions were realized, you partake in certain activities that were held to really, emphasize the impact of crimes and what are some of the reasons for crime and what can be done to prevent crime. So we really appreciate your contribution for 2022, and we want to continue to be with you, to give you the necessary information that will develop you to able to assist us in the whole aspect of crime fighting within the state of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique.
Yes, indeed.
So then if I were to take away from both of you, that gratitude was renounced in terms of how our community members, how our district had partnered with us.
Indeed. We had the rollout of the Yuletide Operation Plan. We came, we explained what areas we intend to get into. We had a number of programs. We sought the input of the general public, and they came out. They were with us. We had the sensitization aspect early in the phases, and during that public sensitization program, our phase, we had our on top of the line is the whole question of the radio program. I did start by thanking thanking Real FM for partnering with us during that period. We had the community and town visits, and so persons was welcoming in terms of engagement with us. We had an open house and town hall meeting, and the ASP. I myself want to thank the ASP Thomas, and I want to thank Inspector Gilbert, Operations Inspector. I want to also thank our is she the host? One of my officers here, Ms. Grant. Ms. Grant, I want to thank you for your contribution during those two programs, Open House and Town Hall. We came together, we discussed it, and you guys run with it. And I want to congratulate John Public for being with us, and I want to thank you for your input during that program. The ASP will explain how that panned out. I want to believe that it panned out very well, indeed.
Indeed. The open house took the form of where all departments partaked in disclosing what they do, and that was felt by the school's participation, and the general public came into the venue, which was at the Grenville Police Station, and asked various questions as to get clarity as to what the police do on a daily basis, what CID does, what the CRD, traffic, etc., fire. And I think it was well organized and well portrayed. I think that really impacted significantly on the whole aspect of the Yuletide operation, in that persons would have heed to some of the guidelines and suggestion that was given in terms of protecting the homes, how they utilize fire during the season, and other aspects of security. And I think with the level of reports we have received with regards to pickpocketing and so forth during the Yuletide season has since diminished significantly. And I must say that would have been some of the contributing factors that really caused such reduction. So once again, I want to thank the public for really partnering with us and adhering to the call for stringent security. Don't produce the opportunity for crime really take place. So I'm happy that today we can report that we had a significant drop in the sort of crime that happens during the Yuletide season.
That's a fact.
Thanks much.
And the whole question of the town hall meeting in the car park, again, it was a welcome initiative. I think it was a brainchild of Inspector Gilbert. Yes, it was his brainchild, and it panned out well. And we also took the opportunity to utilize the PA system, and officers went down I believe they visited about 2 or 3 villages, communities in the St. David's area. Again, announcing to persons what is the expectations for the season. Whole question of target hardening and so on. So I want to again, and the forefront of this again was Inspector Gilbert, along with Ms. Grant. So again, I believe as a commander, I'm blessed, I'm impressed with the delivery of things. Not all areas went well. I had some very disturbing occasions and situations. Social media, again, there were some issues on social media. And so I want to not overlook these situations, these circumstances, because we have this direction in terms of where I need to focus the resources and where I need to tighten up on. But again, I want to express my appreciation for what transpired during the public sensitization phase of the Operation Yuletide. And then we had a number of operations, which included traffic checks, warrant drive, major operations. I want to encourage persons. You go to court and there's a judgment. Please do what is expected of you. And 12 months a year, and you have to pay maintenance. Make the effort and pay. Don't wait until December or whenever we have the warrant drive, and then we have to round you up. Take in front, make that commitment for 2023 to do what is expected of you. The children there, and they want support. Do what is expected of you. Traffic check. I want to commend and say thanks to Corporal Roberts leading the charge with respect to traffic checks, and there was too much violations, too much. And as we continue to ensure that we have safer streets, I want to encourage persons, again, do what is expected, do the right thing. Take time off and get your house in order, your vehicle in order. Right? And then we have inspection coming up now. It's right now. I encourage persons to, and this whole question of speeding in this area that you will see the deployment of the radar guns. A little more in 2023. The whole question of and driving and utilizing your handsets, and driving without seatbelts. I want you just to use this opportunity, make a concerted effort, make a commitment to ensure that you do what is expected of you in 2023.
So okay, go right ahead.
Okay,
sir.
just to pull some of the statistics that the officer was referring to, the traffic checks. Some of the more prevalent offenses were seatbelt, driving without the seatbelt being attached. Mm-hmm. Now, and following this was defective tires. Now, that two contributors are dangerous, because now, if the tires are defective, it's more likely that you would be more prone to an accident than if it has the proper gripping and so forth. Now, with prevalence of accidents, you not wearing your seatbelt, the impact would be more detrimental. Mm-hmm. So that two combinations are very, very detrimental with regards to, maybe contribute to loss of life, fatalities, and so forth. So we want to urge the public, please, those things are for your safety. We are all about safety. Now, going further on, we see that whole aspect of speeding. Recorded 30 tickets being awarded for that offense. So that's another contributing factor to accidents. And something of concern is that there was a total arrest of 39 persons driving without a driving license, and that is chaotic.
Indeed.
So we want persons to do what is necessary to obtain the relevant class of license to be driving on the nation's road. because one fatality or one accident is too much to handle. So I want to urge you all, the public, and please feel free if you, as members of the public, know someone who is driving without license, please come forward and maybe you can speak to them at first, but if they persist, then we may have to take it further. So we want to urge persons to be a role model and play their part in road safety issues within the state.
Question, ASP, in regards to these 39 persons that has been arrested for that, is that just the Yuletide season you're talking of?
Just the Yuletide season, yes.
Yes, indeed.
I just need to highlight it that.
Yes.
Yes. And so we having completed the Yuletide operations and ensuring that the Eastern Division was safe enough for visitors, for residents, and so on. We move into the Christmas, the school, back to school. Finish with the Yuletide, Christmas, New Year's, Boxing Day. We're into back to school, and so this is a period of some concerns for us, and we like to at least speak to persons with respect to back to school.
Basically, during the latter part of, or just before school closed, we saw some significant worrying troubles within the students of the various schools within the district. And one of the areas that was most troubling was that area of the bus terminus.
Right.
That's where the various schools commemorate to take the various buses for their homes. And on evenings, it's prevalent fighting on and off, and weapons are used, children stabbing children, those things we want to really eradicate in 2023. And that's one of our focus, and we would definitely want to have more police presence at the bus terminus and ensure that students take the various buses on time and they are taken to their homes. And we also want to say to parents, let's partner with us in that regard, because what we realize is that when the police is trying to enforce those regulations so that persons can go at their home on time, some of the parents are not in satisfaction. They complain that they don't want their children to be sent home in that manner and so forth. So we want to ask parents to please contribute, ask the children to get to the buses as quickly as possible and try to be home in a reasonable time.
And herein lies an invite again to. There might be there are interventions, there are areas that we can enter into partnering, some initiatives whereby we can assist as much as possible. I want to say we, I mean the police, I mean the public, where we can develop programs, after school programs and so on. I don't know, because the simple thing as a little football, small goal football in the community, persons, they finish school, they go home, they change over into their gears, because they have to be part of the little football or so. It's necessary. And so we want to ensure that we address the delinquency that takes place after school. We have recorded 41 arrests where juveniles are concerned. 41 instances, and this is just not good enough. And so there are some other persons who they are under the age of arrest. But the important thing is that we address this so that we safeguard the future of Grenada, Carriacou, and Billy Martin.
Before we get off that issue of back to school. It is also the period or the term for the athletic or sporting season. We have had one or two mishaps with children and while they're on the road race. Is there anything of concern that you would like to bring across to our listeners?
Now, again, during the cross-country sessions with the various schools, we encountered persons, go in and attack children, taking their jewelry and other items from them. Mm-hmm. So we want to urge parents again, school races and so forth, on road relays and so forth, is something very enthusiastic for parents. And before and new parents used to be by the children's side, urging them on and so forth. We want that to start again, right, so that the children can be more protective. Mm-hmm. And again, we also calling on the public to have their eyes out for students when they are running the races and so forth, mm-hmm, to curb those kind of mishap. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, because
even in that same vein, the whole question of how you drive on the road, definitely, because announcements are made, mm-hmm, of the school that's having road race and so on, and it is evident. You drive in, you see a couple of the children, around this time is road races and so forth. They may not have escort for the whole route, mm-hmm, but you're expected to exercise that care and that concern. Yes. And many a time persons will cheer the children along, mm-hmm, rather than putting them in harm's way. So we want to encourage persons to, as I ended last year, be guardians, be guardian of this society, be guardian of the environment, be guardian of the communities as we forge ahead. But yes, let us see what we can do to make sure that we all. Sometimes the child just happened to go on the cross country, never run before. And years to come, you remember these things. You remember that you took part in one cross country and that you won. But let us make it an exciting time for the children as we enter into this phase in terms of school, new school term, back to school. You pass on the bridge and you see there's a gentleman there, he's helping out. Answer me. Do what we can do to help out the persons in our community.
I also want to speak to that new term that encompasses sporting activities, right, school sports. Mm-hmm. And this year, based on the trend we have noticed at the closure of the year, we want to be proactive. Right. So we want to be out in our numbers during sporting events. We want to police that area very significantly, because we don't want any mishap, children having to be victim of, crimes and violence and so forth. So we definitely would be policing sporting events this year very heavily. We are concentrating significantly. We are in the process of developing a plan as to how we would go about the process. Another thing is that I remember myself and the officer, Mr. Pierre, speaking about a plan to really help and to put students or children in the responsibility state, mm-hmm, where we would have spoke about an initiative where a student advisory body, I think that was the name?
Yes, it's a similar approach to our established CAB program, Citizen Advisory. We want to believe that, and as our commissioner will always say, the community has the answers. The communities can advise us as to how we should approach situations. And I want to believe that if we expand that, I believe that the students can contribute and bring to our attention how our approach can be best suited to them. So this initiative, dubbed YPAC, Youth Police Advisory Committee, would ensure that, and it's a marry of what is there now and what is expected and what used to be there. I remember they used to have what I call student council. I understand that there's an effort to revive student councils. It's a way to go. By having children more responsible, it will impact on what's happening in the schools. So representative bodies, this is important. So with the YPAC, a representative from each of the secondary schools, along with other youth representatives, coming together monthly and discuss issues and challenges. We have the challenge of bullying. That has always been an issue. And so by coming together and discuss what they can do with respect to bullying, what is happening overall. Persons, then you have the whole question as we spoke about what we can do with respect to the malaise in terms of the bus terminus. So whatever the situation, they sit down, they think about it, they discuss it, and they get the input from various things. We call research. They research the issue and come up with possible solutions and going forward. I think it will augur us well for curbing some of the delinquencies. Yes, ASP.
Yes, thank you for. I know you was the brainchild behind this matter, so
not exactly. I always ensure that kudos go with that. I want to believe that our late brother ASP Langdon, also known as Gary, I want to believe that that was curtailed around some ideas that he may have had some time back. So I just want to push it forward.
Oh, okay. And we embrace it because we realize that it is needed and timely. But while we look at these issues that our children are faced with and realizing the term or the school period, what are some of the community initiatives that police has engaged with the community to also aid in fighting against those antisocial behaviors?
I'm going to push the question right back to that is where now her second cap needs to come. So she had to take off one cap and put on a new cap. I know that our host had been the champion, the vanguard behind most of. In fact, she's a go-to person. She's a point of contact person. She's everything with respect to our community policing thing. So she's our community policing czar. Ms. Grant, you'll have to. But yes, we have the boys club, and the boys club. It's a bigger issue in terms of not just the Eastern Division, but the approach by the RGPF. And so with the Police Boys Club, one of the considerations I believe we have to focus on is the whole question of ensuring that persons recognize that it is no longer about the boys. It is the boys, it is the girls. So that is one factor. Again, when we try to sell the Police Boys Club initiative to the farmers, they all, yes, boys, but they don't see themselves as boys. And again, I want to coin a phrase by the late Ursula Antwine. Don't call your child stupid. When you speak to a child and you say stupid, then you put that mindset of being stupid. Call your child genius and so on. When you say, what a genius like you, why are you doing this? That approach speaks well and empowers the children. And you'll realize that in my annunciation, my pronunciation, in my presentation, I have not used the term kid. I want us to get away from calling children kid. Yeah. They are not kids. Kid come from that whole question of goats. And so you're calling yourself a goat. If you want to call them kids, dub them children. Because that's what they are. They are your child. And so change their mindset, change the approach. So we must consider the courage of the term police boys club and see how we approach it at the next level, that's with the secondary schools. We also have the Farm Watch initiative. We have as I mentioned, the CAB. And so we already had a big meeting. I was rather impressed with the mobilization for that CAB meeting as we closed the year. It was the close I start.
Yes, it was the end of the year.
End of the year. I was rather impressed with the turnout and the zeal and the hunger for activities around the CAB. Yes, as I say, Ms. Grant will have to take off that cap and assist now with respect to her question posed with respect to what our initiatives and drives are.
Certainly, you did brought it across in regards to some of the engagements and initiatives. It's just that we need to beef it up, and we're pleading for more of community support as we continue to work together in the best interest of our society and the future. So the Citizen Advisory Body, YPAC, is a new initiative for the Eastern Division. We really want to tap into that, because when you look at our young people and the incidents that occur, and it's not just specialized in our policing area, it is throughout the division, and certainly we can speak of the country at large. So we are seeing the importance of and even our elderly folks coming on board as guardians to give that support and direction. Okay. I must say, though, that for the latter part of 2022, we have seen a significant impact of our male folks coming forward when there are issues, and not just when the children or juvenile are in trouble. We've seen them. They are coming and ask, what can we do? My son is this, my daughter is encountering that. Right, and that is something he was pleading and begging for, and we have seen that finally taking a step. So let's just continue as we support our young people.
And also, it begs me to mention an initiative by one of our own, PC Larry Williams. Yes. I think it was a Big Brother program initiative, and that again will be rolling off during 2023. He's on vacation, and yet he has committed himself to ensuring that whatever can be done around this. He just loves such engagements. I want to recognize him in terms of what he does. I want to recognize all the other individuals in the division that continues to work with the program. I know down on the east we had Inspector Daniel pushing the whole question of the Police Boys Club while working in the Northern Division. Is very, very, very zealous of the initiatives and the drive, the enthusiasm of Inspector Daniel, to the point where I had to call on him to send whatever material he has so that I can tailor it to suit the Northern Division. And so I want to commend all and sundry, not only in the division, that continue to work with the young people, continue to work to ensure that the community initiatives and drives that we are giving consideration to really pans out successfully. Thanks.
So listeners, at this time we'll take a brief commercial break, and we'll be right back with the conversation with the RGPF.
The line's open.
When I hear you complaining, I yes, we the brutal society brutal. Oh gosh, they brutal. My society brutal. Police here have to tiptoe. Good Lord, we afraid to mash your corner, cause you're day waiting like Marco to dish out disdain, slander, and scorn when you sleep at night time. Police up, we fighting crime. Yes, yet in your cruel carnal mind you say police wasting time. Now the police keeping you fit, we ever present.
Within your community, we are always present, and you have seen that in December, and that would not be a one-off, but we would continue because here we are in January, and I have seen a patrol last week with 4 personnel. They just happened to meet at that point, and persons are saying, "Corporal Grant, what's going on with all you? Where all these people?" But then what is important is that our presence or the police presence is being felt. It is timely and it is important. And anytime persons start asking a question is because there is an impact. And I'm happy that my colleagues can do such. But you are tuned into The Conversation with the RGPF, and my guest in studio is Superintendent Pierre ASP Thomas. They have been giving you a review of 2022, letting you know of the impact, the operation Yuletide season that we have just undergone, and what is expected, what you can look forward to for 2023, and how we can continue to work together. So, gentlemen, is there anything in that you would like to bring across to our listeners?
Yes. Within the division, there is an ugly trend developing in terms of crime, and that crime refers to threatening language.
Right.
Now, it's a crime that is very prevalent because I'm not sure whether or not persons really know what else to say than maybe just to threaten somebody, to chop them, or those other things.
Right.
So within the community, maybe utilizing the CAB, we really have to go through the communities and maybe do some really intense conflict resolution sessions.
Definitely.
To see how we can really alleviate that problem. Because those problems, if it is not nurtured and taken care of, they go on to bigger crimes.
Definitely.
You know, we have the murders and the maiming and those sort of things, and we really don't want to lose people by those means, in means of, a trend of violence and losing lives and so forth. So we really, really want to nip that problem in the bud, come starting from now. So that's something we really, really want to look at. I don't think the figure crossed 9. I believe that the murders for 2022 was, I believe, is about 9. 9 for the island, for Grenada and Carriacou, Pili Martinique, 9. Just want to say that for the Eastern Division, our murders were 3, and that's 3. That's too much.
Way too much.
That's too much.
And again, the question of assaulting with dangerous and weapon and so on. Again, that needs to be curbed. We have taken a zero tolerance to possession of offensive weapon. And I want to give kudos and thanks to the men and women of the RRU, Rapid Response Unit, for continuing to partner with us and continue to contribute to the safety of the division. The ASP did mention fire and what transpired during the period. All these entities, Ms. Grant, going forward, will be scheduled to again come back and engage on this medium, outlining the charge and how they executed their functions, giving a review of 2022, and by that time they'll be able to outline the focus for 2023. Mm-hmm. I just want to quickly make mention of some of the areas that we definitely will need to focus on. The force has mandated the law has the laws of grant has mandated persons to register the pellet guns and so on. It means therefore that there is a serious stance against weapons. So one of the areas that we'll be looking at is the whole question of firearm. This is something that it worries us, it troubles us. We don't want to be like some other places. Mm-hmm. We want to ensure that the place remains safe. The whole question of causing harm, we registered the period 430 causing harm. So and then in addition to that, wounding and 90 and so forth. We recognize, it's hard. You put somebody in hospital, the nurses and doctors have additional work and so on. As the ASP mentioned, conflict resolution, how we engage in resolving confrontations and issues is critical. But again, we want to ensure that we get as much as possible the firearms off our streets. We will continue community engagements and ensuring that the community, because community want to be part. It's just a small percentage of individuals. And so we want to ensure that these persons do not continue to terrorize. Property crimes and target hardening, these are areas that we'll be looking at. And again, road safety. So we'll be back in terms of the focus for 2023. But that's just a snippet of the focus areas I believe that we will need to incorporate into our focus for 2023.
Yes, certainly, because our hour has run out on us, but you can't leave without leaving some closing remarks with us. So, yes, Thomas.
Yes, basically I want to leave with the general public, just to reiterate the whole aspect of that sporting events that will be scheduled for the upcoming months within the division with various schools. I want to really urge parents to really speak to children when they're going out, ensure that they are searched before they goes out with knives, and to avoid knives and other weapons. Be part of your children's life to ensure that what they should be doing is done. And I really want to emphasize on parents, please be part of your children's life so they can be role models instead of having to be ending up in constraint with the laws and so forth. So let us please be guided. That's something I'm really, really passionate about this year, to ensure that sporting events goes on peacefully as much as possible. And as I say, our presence would be very much felt in this year's activities. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ASP and Superintendent. You have the financing.
Oh yes, thank you so much. I just want to dispel a notion that seems to permeate from time to time, the whole question of 48 hours. We are very keen in ensuring that we rejoin persons, lost ones. So when we have a report of a missing person, we do not subscribe to 48 hours before you bring it to the attention of the police. We do not subscribe to 48 hours before we take action. So I just want to dispel that. This you might see on YouTube, Netflix, or whatever, in the movies. The Royal Grenadier Police Force stance is that as we get this information, that we pounce on it. that there's a mechanism in place that we activate immediately. And so we want to I just want to dispel that, Ollie. I want to again thank you for your leadership, Ms. Grant, and thank the radio station for having us. I want to also recognize the most outstanding police officer in the division for 2022, and both male and female policemen would have been RC Charles. That's a big, strong guy you see in the magistrate court from time to time. And also woman detective corporal Nancy Joseph. I want to commend them, and I hope that others will try and emulate and step forward. It's not about, just remember that you are being observed. So it's not about doing things to be recognized, but doing what is expected of you, going the extra mile, and you will be recognized. Thank you. Thanks for the support in 2022. I look forward to continued support in 2023. And please remain vigilant. I know there's talk of the of a rise in COVID cases, but I just want, I just, as I say, it's just a talk that I got. Just want, whatever the case might be, stay safe, remain safe, and be the guardian of the community that you're in. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. And it has been a program, The Conversation with the RGPF. And to our listeners, the criminologist, Stephen Francis, our usual, good morning, have a blessed day. And we will meet again next Wednesday with another program, The Conversation with the RGPF. God bless you, and we'll be right back.
M&M Hardware Limited, Hope St. Andrew and Dusty Highway, St. George. Shop conveniently for all your building materials, including plumbing, electrical, lumber, cement, steel, and much more. We manufacture roofing sheets available windows, doors, and shutters.